Hey guys, this is Sandy White from Simply Fit, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader. And on today's segment, we're going to be talking about stress. There are 3 factors that I want to make you aware of. I want to also share with you guys some strategies so that you can overcome stress, and one little simple trick that'll just blow your mind and it'll keep you stress free. No pun intended. We'll cover that right after this. Let's jump right into the 3 types of stress. The first type of stress is acute stress, and that's usually brief. Uh, Stub your toe, you burn something, having a challenge, a small challenge or a disagreement with someone you typically don't have a disagreement with, or whatever, something tiny, and it comes and it goes. And then you have acute stress, and those types of stresses are trigger stresses. Like, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but some people don't get along with their in-laws. And so when they see them, it just triggers the worst in them. Panic attacks, just it's horrible. The sweats. Or you go to work on Monday and usually you have to deal with a stressful boss, or someone else is having stressors. And sometimes when these trigger stresses come on, they're not normal, because, like, hypothetically, say you have to deal with me and I don't deal with my stresses. And this is what people have to remember. Then I'm going to get back to the point. We are not just affecting ourselves, we're affecting the individuals that are around us, our family. So as I was about to say, like, a lot of people report to their doctors on Mondays. They hate going to work on Mondays because that's when they have their big meeting and they are dealing with the boss or coworkers that don't know how to deal with stressors. And so if they're at level 10, that's a trigger stress to somebody else. And now that level for that individual now has gone up 3 or 4 levels. So it's important that we all work on how we communicate with our own brain so we can keep ourselves calm. And so therefore, indirectly, the individuals that are around us, they can also do the same thing. It is amazing how I can be stressed out and I can be at a level, 2, 3 or whatever. But then, if you have kids, that level now magnifies. And unfortunately, kids sometimes don't know how to communicate. And it's not just kids, adults a lot of times don't know how to properly communicate. And this is why we're talking about what we're talking about now. And this is why stress is becoming so debilitating to individuals and is growing at an epidemic rate where it should not be. A lot of people put a lot of their trust or their reliability into one source, and you should not do that. And I bring that up because right now it's work for a lot of people. They're trying to take care of themselves, they're trying to take care of their children, and we're dealing with inflation. It's constantly growing and rising. That's a stress for some people. And then let alone you lose your position. I'm not saying that feels good to anybody, but what I'm saying is you should have multiple streams of income coming in. So if one is lost, you still have several more taking care of you, and you may be a tiny bit stressed, but that won't be manic or episodic type of an acute stress. You follow what I'm saying? I know you guys know this story from the Bible where it's 99 sheep, 1 get away. God is going to look for that one, but he's not super stressed because he still got 99. He still wants that one because that one he still cares about. Yes, you want that one position that you had, but if you still got 99 different ways of which income is coming in and you're being taken care of, you're like, okay, I'm going to get that one replaced, but I won't have to be super focused on it. You got what I'm saying? So make sure that you guys have multiple ways that you can care for yourselves and not just one way. And we gave the example of finances because that's where a lot of people are, and that's where a lot of the stress is coming in. Make sure you have multiple streams of income coming in instead of just one. So if something happens to the one, you're not freaking out. Okay. Number 3 stress is chronic stress. And that's the most harmful type of stress. And if left untreated and you go long periods without being treated, it can damage your physical health and deteriorate your mental health. So now what I want to do is go over some ways that you can manage your stress. And one of them I talk about all the time is exercise. Get yourself like 20 to 30 minutes worth of exercise. You don't have to do it all at one time, but you want to make sure that you are getting in that exercise. And now, like, it's starting to get warm out here, and I got my kids out here, they running up and down. We're at Potomac National Park, which is a part of Jug Bay. It's a lot to do. You can go hiking, you can go fishing, you can go boating. And the other thing is, most of y'all are like, girl, I ain't doing all of that. I just want to relax. Okay, well, relax. Go to the beach. We got several beaches up here in the state of Maryland. I don't know where you are, but you could go to the beach. I tell you guys all the time, that white noise is just so relaxing. And you can meditate, you can journal. And one of the other ways is taking yoga. Yoga can take care of, it can knock off your exercise 20, 30 minutes. It can help you to relax. It can help you to meditate. And it can help you with your breathing exercises. And then another thing is to have fun. Now, I know you guys, I like my boys, they'll tolerate me, but I do like doing like rough house type stuff, like what is that one, the Ninja Warrior. I ain't gonna do it all the time, but I mean, I don't mind doing, I'm outside and the bugs are as usual. Y'all gotta excuse me, but you know, it's going through the obstacle course. You can do I forget what they call it, but you're soul cycling. You can try that. You can go to the gym. You can go in there. You can get a 7-day pass. So just go and do something that's fun. I mean, watch something funny. And then, you know, another one, I tell you guys about this all the time too. You got to eat well, because if y'all don't remember, your gut and your brain, they are connected. So if your gut is off, your brain is going to be off. And then keeping your microbials together functions, well, it helps your gut, because that's your second brain, if you didn't know that. Brain, and then your belly, your gut in your belly is your second one. So if that one is off, it's going to send wrong signals to this brain, and you're going to be trying to figure out what in the world, you know. So make sure you're eating well so you feel well. And then I gave you all a really good tip. I don't know which one it was, but one of the episodes, eat the foods that are in season. You will not go wrong with that. Don't do processed foods. Processed foods don't do well with your body. Now, I know I've mentioned to you all about the protein bars. So that is a processed food, but it is a somewhat healthy processed food, but you're not going to eat that all the time. Okay. So when you keep your gut together, it'll help your brain stay happy, and it'll keep the stress down. The next one is you got to make sure that you are getting great rest. When you sleep well, everything else will function well. When you don't sleep well, that's when you start eating all of the processed foods, and you are just a grumpy old turtle, a grumpy old troll. So let's not do that. All right. Make sure you're getting your 7 to 8, 10 hours. Make sure your room is at least, I would say between 65 and 68 degrees. So you're nice and you're cool. All right. And then make sure you got a good nighttime routine so that you can stay relaxed. All right, guys, I'm telling you, those 3 alone work together. You do one without the other, you still jacked. You may be, instead of operating on 4 cylinders, you're on 3 cylinders, and you're like, well, I'm still doing good. Technically, you're not, and you're wearing out the other 3. all of the factors need to be equally charged at the same time. Get good sleep, eat well, relax, make sure that you are having fun and you get some regular exercise. All right? Okay, guys, so my quick little tip for you when you find yourself in a stressful situation is the 3-3-3 rule. What the heck is that, Sandy? Okay, let me tell you. So 3 things that you see. What do you see? Like, I'm outside and I know y'all see this beautiful butterfly behind me. I see beautiful open fields. I see beautiful, we have a bunch of cherry blossom trees here. Now, the ones that I'm looking at are not the cherry blossom ones, but they're green, they're orange. They're just gorgeous. They kind of match this butterfly. And then the other thing is, what do I see? I see my children and they're happy. The next thing, so the first one is, what are the 3 things that you see immediately? I mean, and really get detail about it. And then the next one is 3 movements. Okay, what can I move? Body parts. Let's move our fingers. And let me feel my fingers move. Let me crunch up my toes. I can feel my big toe crunching up in my shoe. Rawr. No, your toes aren't saying that though. And you know, like, do your head side to side. Move your head side to side. Okay, up and down. Up and down. And then roll it. And then the next one, what do you hear? And just to stop you guys, make sure everything that you're doing with the 3-3-3 rule is a positive sight, see, and feel, and hear. So this one is, what do you see? What do you hear? And then this one is, we didn't do hear, but the first one is, what do you see? And then the next one is movement. And then what do you hear? What I hear is the breeze, because I'm outside. I hear the breeze going through the trees. I hear the bees buzzing all around me. I hear the crunching of the leaves in the grass from my oldest stepping in it. You know, it's just tranquil, but it's positive. All right. So 3-3-3 rule will get you back on course. All right, guys. So the last one, the last tip or suggestion that I want to say to you, if you have done everything that I have shared and you still feel that you are in a state of harmful stress, this is when you need to ensure that you are properly journaling dates, times, what you're doing, how long you've been doing it, how you're feeling, why you've been feeling the way you've been feeling, what's been going on that possibly could trigger why you're doing the journaling and the dating of what's going on in the first place. So if you are like, I'm eating well, and this is why I say journal, because sometimes you think you're eating well, and when you journal, you realize you're not. You say, oh, I'm sleeping well. Then you write down what time you slept, how many hours you slept, you know, what was going on. Did you have a nighttime routine? I like to tell, this doesn't always happen, but I tell my children to take a bath or a shower before you go to bed, because it really does help you relax and go to sleep. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy having the window open, have a fan on, making sure it's cool. Try not to sleep with no socks on, sleep with loose clothing on. I mean, if you're doing everything that I suggest and you are still not feeling at your best, when you journal all of this, make sure you have dates, times, and again, as I said, what you have been doing. Then that way it's easier for the doctor to detect if and when he needs to make a decision on should you take some medication. And it could just be a simple, let's do a tweak here, a tweak there. Again, because if we're rushing through life and we're really not paying attention to it, then we can possibly miss some stuff. All right. So with that being said, you guys, I love you. You know, I want to see you next week. We broadcast every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WYTV7.org broadcasting station. Check out our platform. We have an app. You can check us out on the go, or you can just log into the on your laptop, on your computer, and find out what we're doing in the community. Guys, I will love to see you next week, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel so that when I drop a new video, you guys will be the first to know. All right, and send in all of your questions and comments so we make sure that we address them and we do a broadcast on it. See you guys next week. Bye.